The first game, I was like, oh, this is so nostalgic. This is awesome. I played it again. But then I realized how kind of glitchy it is and how the Mako fucking sucks.
Actually, there's something a lot of people hate. People hate the Mako. I really didn't. I thought it was okay. Wasn't
I
the best...
really think it was too sensitive.
Yeah, I will grant that. The controls were a bit hit and miss. But it wasn't itself bad. And sorry if you can hear just random movements. I'm just sort of resorting my game collection here after taking out.
Don't worry about it.
I'm sorry, I've ran out of water. This is a bad time. But yes.
Oh yeah, they replaced the mining system. How you just go and scan a planet, and you just like scroll across the planet with this big target, and you look for like you have this meter on the right, which goes up or down depending on what you find, like iridium, platinum, and a whole bunch of different stuff that doesn't make sense. And when you find it, you shoot off this beacon, which goes to it, and you get that supply. But that's really it. And I really do not like the lack of side quests. I'm a man who loves his side quests.
Yeah, same here. Like that's I know you don't like Oblivion.
And no, the only way you can get a side quest is if you go to a target planet, a hub planet, and you find something there. But it really doesn't branch off to something good. It's just like, hey, go there, buy me this, bring it back. And then when you finally get to one of these planets where you there's been an anomaly detected, you have to go around and find that anomaly, shoot a beacon there, and you can land on the planet. But that's only like 4 planets out of the whole game.
Yeah, but I know you're saying that you like your side quests, and I know you don't like Oblivion. But it's like one of my favorite games. The fact that I recently picked it up and I started playing it, and it took me about an hour to decide on what character I was going to play.
Khajiit.
Just because, I settled on a human rogue, not a human, an imperial rogue that I'd later turn into a vampire. But yes, it's kind of annoying playing as a vampire. It's just a self-imposed limit. But fuck it, I'm hardcore. Hardcore, motherfucker. No. But if you ever got round to if you suddenly were possessed with some desperate need to play Oblivion, you notice the side quests. Some of the side quests in that game are huge. Like you can count the factions as side quests, and I think there's how many?
Yeah, I remember the Dark Brotherhood and what was it? Just the different guilds.
There's the Thieves Guild, Mages Guild, Fighters Guild, Dark Brotherhood. I think that's 4. Thieves Guild, Mages Guild, Fighters Guild.
Stop! Yeah, you violate the law.
And then, technically, I suppose the Shivering Isles is a side quest to the main game.
Big side quest.
Holy, Shivering Isles is huge. And in Shivering Isles, there are other side quests branching off from it. Just the scope of that game is absolutely massive, and there's just a huge amount of side quests to do. Then it's the same in Fallout as well.
Yeah. I think we went off tangent for a bit. Let's get back to Mass Effect 2, and we've been focusing too much on the cons of that game. Let's talk about the pros. First off, this game is freaking gorgeous. It has some of the best graphics I've seen in a next-gen console. And they've done an improvement on the on the talking, where instead of just looking at each other and going meh 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 and just being really stiff, they actually move around a lot more. When you think it is a cutscene, that is still in the part where you can choose your dialogue, which is very, very impressive.
I mean, there's something there's just a general problem with a lot of BioWare games. They have amazing writing, and they typically have very good voice actors. Mm-hmm. The only problem is they're not too good about cutscene animations. The voices, and I've always noticed this in most of their games, that the voices and the mouths the animations and the movements are slightly out of sync. I don't know why. It's kind of off-putting sometimes. A lot of people pass it over.
Doesn't have too much on Mass Effect 2.
I'm a bit of a nitpicker, as most of you should be able to find.
Me too.
Now, I really like to. I mean, I love a lot of games, but a lot of the time I will really sort of pick at things. A large example of this is my recent Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Memories review. That a lot of people have sort of mistaken for me absolutely despising the game. I don't. It's one of my childhood favourites. I love that game. But I just decided, fuck it, there's a lot of stuff I can make fun of here. And I think that's what a lot of internet reviewers do with a lot of games. They'll sort of nitpick on the worst parts. You can usually tell when a reviewer actually likes a game if they focus entirely on the cutscenes, like I did. Bloody hell.
All right, let's move away from Mass Effect 2. And there's a new game that came out called Aliens vs Predator. Hell yeah, you heard about this game?
I've actually heard about that, and I did actually pay attention to a bit of the hype. I don't usually pay much attention. I mean, the most recent game I've paid attention to the hype of. I mean, is Heavy Rain, and I'm really looking forward to that. I'm gonna get it next
I wish
month.
I could get that, but I'll stick to watching the LPs of it.
We win PS3, huh? Sorry.
Oh wow.
Sorry. But sorry, you've got Fable. I'm depressed.
I don't like Fable 2.
I love Fable 2. You should be more grateful.
Fable
But,
1 was better.
obviously. But what was I saying? I've forgotten now.
Last game, you paid attention to the hype.
Oh yes, I know we're talking about Alien vs Predator. But yeah, I sort of paid attention to a bit of the hype of that, and I've actually played a bit of it, and it's really underwhelming. It's essentially just another carbon copy first-person shooter, as far as I can tell. And to be honest, I've got Alien vs Predator 2, the one that was made in the year 2000, which a lot of people actually think's the first one, but the first one was kind of Doom-esque thing. I can't remember what. I know there was a version on the Atari Jaguar. But that was about it, and that's all people know. And people only ever know the AVP 2000. And I've actually got that on Steam. I got it quite recently, and that is a genuinely good game. And the sad thing is, you'd think that Alien vs Predator, the new one on the current generation, the next generation consoles, which is some of the bugs me. Why do we keep calling them next gen? They're current gen. But anyway, the ones that are on the current generation consoles, really, it's not. You'd think it'd be better, but it isn't. The original, or what people consider to be the original, is like 10 times as atmospheric. There's much bigger differences between all of the different characters. Like, you can, sometimes I've seen footage, and you sort of forget sometimes that you're playing as either the alien, the marine, or the predator. You just think you're playing as the same guy, but with slightly different weapon loadouts. But in the Alien vs Predator 2000 one, there was a huge difference in the way that you had to play all of those games. Like, the Alien and the Predator, like the Predator, you sort of tried to hide, or get them from very far away with your bow, or sneak up behind them using invisibility and then stab them and then run away. Whereas with the Alien, you'd sort of sneak around on the roof, leap at them, and then just sort of leap between them, a bit like you do.
Take that!
A bit like you do if you're a particularly good hunter on Left 4 Dead. You'll just sort of kill one guy and leap to another, and you just keep doing
Alien
that.
versus Hunter, who will win?
Alien. It's got acid for blood. But anyway, you just do all this jumping shit. With the Colonial Marine, you're essentially the guy from Doom. You run in there gung-ho, like,
take that, eat my pain.
Yeah, like that. Like that kind of, because bad literacy is cute. No, that kind of thing. Whereas in Alien vs Predator, it's all very much the same. It's all like in the new one, it's all every single race has to run in there and go ugh, instead of some of them sneaking. At least that's my opinion of it.
Yeah, I actually have thought about renting this game, but I'm kind of taken aback by what I've seen through Let's Plays and gameplay videos. But what I've seen, it's basically all the campaigns for each individual person, like the Alien, the Predator, and the Marine, are extremely short. I've actually looked up this one Let's Player called Tenevs, who did a complete LP of the game, and the Alien part took 5 videos. And this is the guy who was doing a blind run of it.
Yeah, man, it's like it's a bit like Lord of the Rings Conquest, really. The single player
that game.
The single player is really tacked on, and it's only there to kind of distract from the idea that Alien vs Predator is just simply designed for multiplayer, which is a real shame. I don't understand, like the Halo games. Halo.
Yeah.
Halo 3 is the worst one of this. Halo 2 could sort of be argued with. The Halo 1, there was no way in hell that it was designed for the multiplayer. But Halo 3, the single player campaign is just tacked on. It was entirely about the multiplayer at that
I was
point.
so happy when Johnson died.
You could say Left 4 Dead as well, but I've got to say that is still fun on single
Yeah,
player.
yeah, it is fun on single player, but who in the right mind would play it on single player?
Well, me, for one.
Oh, what's up, buddy? Sorry, my dog's leaped in
Yeah,
my middle lap.
ignore the dog. We're
Oh,
doing it.
fine.
Moving away from you deciding what we talk about, you fascist. Um, let's talk about Dante's Inferno, which I have the special edition of.
The book was good.
Um, you say that in a stupid way, but I did recently pick up the epic poem of Dante's Inferno after playing the game, and you know, it very good. It was very well written, and it had that very medieval style of speech, which I particularly enjoy. But talking about the game, sorry for a moment, you haven't played the game, have you?
No, I have not. And it's kind of disappointing because just I've looked